Welcome to the Gruber Morning Show. This is our AI podcast. I'm Pete Gruber.
I'm Erica Guthrie.
And I'm Janie Herndon-Leon.
We've got a lot of talking points for you today. And you know what? We haven't done one of these in almost 3 months.
Wow. Too long.
I know.
This is the new debut, and we've got the new team here, and we're going to continue and stay committed to the AI cause. You know, I find that there is so much new information. It's overwhelming, actually.
Overwhelming, for sure.
Every day. Every day, more frequently, it's coming up as a point in conversation throughout my daily activities.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I use AI throughout my daily activities.
And so many daunting things that we need to prepare for. And that's one of the reasons that we do this podcast, is to help prepare people for this inevitable change that is hurtling towards us. Yep. And, you can either fear it or you can adapt, embrace it, exactly. And adapting is really the only option.
For sure.
That's what's exciting about having this platform. Is to be able to engage with those out there that can provide us some of their insights and their thoughts and their ideas about what's taking place and what's happening.
Yeah, I love it when the audience will engage with us or our viewers engage with us. It's great. So
exactly.
Do it. You can do it.
So the image behind us, what I asked for here, and it took me over an hour using 3 different image-generating AI programs. What I wanted was a humanoid robot accepted in a family setting and, in a loving environment. What you see here is going to be our reality. We're going to have these kinds of machines become part of our family.
Yep.
Right.
And
I can't wait to not do the dishes.
Yeah. It took about an hour, multiple tries with Grok, ChatGPT's new capability, and DALL-E. And the guardrail police these days are active as can be. They just had trouble with having kids in the setting. I tried to get little children playing after a Thanksgiving dinner and the robot helping clear the table. None of that was possible.
Wow.
No. Finally, it snuck this one in, and we've got Grandma. We've got someone playing cards, and there's actually a dog behind Erica there, too, I believe, or behind Janie.
Now, my thoughts are when you put a search into it for an image, how does it know what the expression of loving would be creatively? Creatively. Like, how does it know how to create that picture? Where would it gain that knowledge from?
Simply put, that's the magic of AI. It's already smarter than we are. It is
it knows how to express love in a picture.
It's the cumulative knowledge of all human experience and human knowledge at this point. And it's just going to intensify from here. The exciting part that we're waiting for is AGI and singularity, when AI begins to bring in new things.
Oh, for sure.
You know, we've had notable individuals throughout history that have brought in new concepts, ideas, and inventions, music, art, science, all of that.
Yeah, we've got EDM.
Yeah, wait until AI does that on steroids.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be so
amazing.
Cool.
So we've got an image here, guys. If we can pop that up.
Yeah.
This one, and we'll go through some of these images and then talk about each one.
This fact is just blowing my mind.
Yeah. So humans now only make up 38% of internet traffic. The other 61.5 is non-human, bots, hacking tools, etc.
That is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
You know?
When I read this, I was just like, that can't be true.
No
way. But I think about it. I get more spam calls than I do humans.
Right.
I get more spam emails. I get more, your application was submitted. I'm like, I didn't submit an application, but there's all these bots online pretending to be something.
Well, when you think about it, you go to, you see all these companies that advertise, for insurance quotes and things like that. So what they're doing is they're using a platform to then go out and search other platforms to bring in pricing. So that one person now just generated, 10 times.
Right.
Yeah.
What's taking place. So I could see how that.
Yeah, what gets eerie, too, is I was looking up high bay lights for our warehouses, right? LED type lights. And I was looking on Amazon. within a few days, I began to get flooded on Facebook
Oh, yes.
and emails.
Oh, yeah.
It's curating. It knows
Yep.
what I'm interested in.
Yep.
How does it know across those platforms what I'm interested in?
The algorithms. Oh, yeah.
Algorithms. It's the so my
key
husband
for
broke
paid
this down. I
advertising.
wish I remembered exactly what he said, but we even tested it. So I went to his father's house. His father was watching YouTube. These are car fixing videos. They're not on my YouTube reels. I don't watch them. So I just go to him and ask him to fix it. Sorry, Dad. Then I go home, and now I have all these car videos because I was talking about it. I was just talking about it with him. And then I went home, and then I started talking about a new comforter and a new bed. And then I left my home and went to the grocery store. The moment I left my home and went to the grocery store, all of a sudden, new beds, everything was popping up. I was simply talking about it.
It gets eerie.
Wasn't
Do
even
you have it?
searching
Do you
it.
have like one of those series or anything like
Yeah,
there
that's
you
exactly
go.
what it is. Yeah,
Yep.
it's a Google Assistant, but
okay.
they're extracting everything that you're being. Or I'll just be sitting there and I'll be having a conversation. I never once say Google, and all of a sudden, I didn't hear you. What was that?
Yeah, that's why I don't
And
use
I'm
those
like,
in my
yeah,
house.
I didn't want you to hear me.
That's right.
I'm not there yet.
All right, let me see. I've got another image here for you. All right, so this one, Bill Gates wants to tax the robots that took human jobs away. Boy, there's a lot to unpack
Let's
here.
go, Bill Gates.
Right.
So
But
what?
did they take it away?
And he's popping up a lot these days, being
Sure.
quoted quite a bit. And, you know,
Right.
really, he's one of the godfathers of technology, really,
Right.
when you think about it.
Absolutely.
Software Engineer 101.
But
So
what he's
what does
talking
that
about
look
here,
like? Yeah.
picture this. We already know, and we've got some other topics in here, that humans are going to be relegated to the dustbins eventually. Coding,
Sure.
for example. You know, the computers do a much better job. AI
Yeah.
does a much better
Right.
job of coding. Jesse actually just finished our website for Gruber Motor Company.
Right.
And somewhere along the way, he realized that his best assistant and, helping him create this was AI.
Yeah.
It was amazing what it was able to do, what it was able to understand and
Right.
help him develop to finish
Right.
off our website. So
Now the tech. Go ahead.
the problem here is, what are we going to do with all these people that are now going to be out of work because the machines are doing a better job in most of these categories? Screenwriting, for example. The SAG-AFTRA strike in 2023, where Fran Drescher got up and said,
yes, and
we need to fight AI. It's going to
Yeah.
try to take our jobs, and we're the only ones that can do it properly, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Well, today, Hollywood is using AI script writing and doing a better
It
job
is
than the
probably a
humans.
better job, yeah.
The spin on that and what he's saying with the taxing of the robots that I'm thinking as well is that I own a company and I'm finding that I'm able to use these robots and AI systems for jobs and roles that I had previously employees. Now I've made a one-time investment and then maintenance to keep them up for that expense. And then that's more profits.
Today, your humanoid robot costs $20,000 to $30,000.
Right.
That's not even someone's annual salary.
Exactly. That's a half a
Right.
year's wage in today's market,
Right.
right? Now, go a step further with this.
Right.
You
There's
now
no healthcare
have
benefits needed.
it's healthcare.
Yes.
And they now
Exactly.
have factories in China where they have machines, robots doing the work. They don't need environmental controls. They're not temperature
So they have to
sensitive.
work
No?
health and safety. Yeah.
They don't need lights.
Oh,
They work in the dark.
Oh my gosh.
They don't ever
didn't
take a
think about that.
bathroom break, a lunch break. They work and they
Constant productivity.
24/7. Humans
Wow.
are supposed to work 8 hours a day.
right.
That's not a realistic projection. Between
Between
bathroom breaks and
breaks
and breaks period
Right.
and socializing and the personal call that gets squeezed in and all that, we're looking at maybe 5 hours work that takes place per day.
Right.
So these
We're not very
machines,
productive people.
24/7, year
Right.
round. And the maintenance, you just simply send another, humanoid robot into
Your
into place.
profitability,
Yeah.
like just
Wow.
So what happens now to the corporations that are realizing these enormous gains in productivity?
Yeah.
They're going to be swimming in profits. Well,
Right.
this is where the notion of UBI comes in now.
Okay.
Universal Basic Income. Translated, it's going to be the world's largest unemployment operation in
Right.
history.
So
And
do
that's
we
where taxing
own the
the-
robots and then we gain the income to pay our bills? How would that work?
I believe that the company, they buy the robots to then put into their production, and they work, and then that's where that's where he gets taxed, or the company, the owners of the
company gets taxed.
on those robots for doing that production.
Called a robot tax.
Right. And then that's then what in turn creates
Yeah.
the UBI. Yeah.
Now, you
Oh,
might say,
man.
well, why would corporations which can operate in a greedy mode, that's one of the things that corporations have been accused of. They're greedy. They don't care about humans, blah, 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 right?
It's not greedy.
Why are they motivated, though, to participate in a UBI program and funding these huge unemployment funds, right?
Right.
The reason is if you allow people that reach a level of desperation, they are going to find the resources and you'll have anarchy on your hands.
Right.
And the very infrastructure that has been built on this planet to support economies and infrastructure and all of that will come crumbling down fairly quickly because people will go on a rampage.
Well, they're
Once-
not going to buy the products that the robots are producing.
Right. They can't afford to buy the product.
Exactly.
No, they're not working.
Exactly.
See, I think the only thing that humans really think about is like, what's in it for me? Most
Well,
of them
yeah.
think that. So it's like, why would I think AI is good in a sense of taking the job, as you would say, took the human job away? But there's plenty of operations for humans to still do. Like there's some operations I would believe if it's like, well, no, not true. Never mind. Because when you really think about psychology, I was going to say psychology, but AI is giving me better
that's-
advice than I've paid for. So,
Oh, yeah.
We've had that discussion before. Yeah.
so I'm
yeah.
like, never mind. I took that college course and then,
Actually,
whatever.
what if you took humans and we could take what we do when we were talking about, our species and expanding our role in what we do and who we are as people, with that time, we can actually then take our efforts in expanding, who we are and what we do in a positive,
Like being kinder and being less, I don't know, blow up.
taking care of our planet, exploring other planets, doing,
But we would
things
need
that
money for
things that will elevate us as a human species into that next,
Everyone just wonders
500
where
years.
their paycheck's going to come from if AI takes over
There
their
are
job.
there are a number of things that play into this, and one of them that comes to mind for me is what motivates people to go to work. Well, you have two distinct groups. You have the group that sees it as a means to an end. They hate their jobs. They're only
Right.
doing it because they have mortgage payments, they have car payments, they have
How to do it.
insurance, all
Right.
of that, right?
Right.
Now, I don't know the percentages, but there's another group that is passionate, that loves their career,
Right.
that would do it even if they weren't getting paid. That's an extreme example.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
yeah. Those people, of course, would have no difficulty transitioning because they would translate that into some other philanthropic activity,
true.
hobbies,
Well, that's what I was just talking about. Exactly.
creating something,
Paintings,
staying,
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
staying passionate with
Right.
something and having a mission.
Right.
So the real, the sociological question
There you
here
go.
is going to be, how will these two groups react to a
Right.
UBI, universal basic income, where you no longer have to create? And
Right.
that second group we talked about that is altruistic, that they'll probably do fine because
Right.
they'll translate into some other form of mission, sense of purpose, and all that.
Right.
The ones I'm concerned about are the ones that hated their job. They've now got
Right.
UBI. What will they do once they have nothing meaningful to do anymore?
They just gonna
We don't
Sit at
know
home
yet.
and eat?
Yeah,
We don't know.
You're going to need to put a microchip in them for depression.
But I think that's what Bill Gates is talking about here.
Right.
And, he's, we are headed in that direction because as the machines begin to become much better at what we do, it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to compete with humans, and humans aren't going to be necessary.
Yeah, we don't really stand a chance to their detail and their how they can operate. Like, let's just say, for very small examples, the little robots in your home, like the little circle robots.
The Roomba.
Roomba, that was the first one. The Shark had a new one come out. I really wanted it. But it does a better job than I do on my floor.
Does it really? Yeah.
Absolutely. If I wasn't on my hands and knees and I'm just using a normal everyday broom, that thing does way better than I can ever imagine. And then I think back to vacuums. What were we doing before vacuums? It was just sweeping off the carpeting or whatever. It was disgusting.
Shake up ours.
Now our allergy content has gone down. Our hygiene's gotten better because of it. It's just, it's so weird how something as small as a vacuum can show me up. Let alone a robot. You know, when I put that in perspective, I wouldn't be able to compete. There wouldn't be a competition.
And let's think about something else too. The human senses are very limited compared to what the machines can do.
Yeah.
You know, we can't see the infrared. We can't see the ultraviolet bands. We have a certain amount of focal length where we can see objects. The machines, I mean, down to microscopic level, the wide bandwidth of, frequencies is available to them. Talk about dirt, some dirt may show up ultraviolet, some may show up infrared,
Oh my gosh, right?
And then the microscopic elements, machines can get down to the germ level, to the virus level, to the atomic level even. So again, once you start thinking about it, it's just fascinating. Right?
We're real stuck in this one. Thanks, Frank. We appreciate it.
Hey, shout out.
All right, got a quote here from Isaac Asimov, who has been a instrumental. If I can find it here, I did not put it in. Okay. Let me read it to you then.
Okay.
So Isaac Asimov says that robots will become organic as humans become machines.
That was an interesting thought when I started thinking back to it, and like even to the material that we're utilizing to create the machines.
It'd be less metal.
It'll be
organic material.
Flexible, like latex, for example, skin color, that sort of thing. And there's nothing.
It's already happening, yeah.
There's nothing preventing technology from getting down to the tissue and to the cellular level to communicate.
Replicating it.
And the earliest indication we're seeing is, like the Neuralink implant, which is now a bio interface able to communicate with the cells.
Yeah.
So
cool.
And give, oh goodness, that's mind-blowing. Give directives to the cells.
Now, how will humans turn into machines? Well, the earliest indication we have is the $6 Million Man. Do you remember the Bionic
I love
Man?
that show.
Oh, yeah. My son Tim loved that. He used
They
to
go
walk
jumping
around
over the
doing that.
fence.
See, it's before her time. We're blowing her away.
No, I know the show. I just wasn't all that into it. It was cheesy. I think my favorite introduction to technology was Quantum Leap.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Okay.
that was a great show. Oh,
Okay.
that was
I
really
would watch
good.
Quantum Leap at 4:00 every morning with Grandpa and drink cocoa. And I'm young and I'm like, oh. And then it was Star Trek after that. My dad was a huge Trekkie. He would wear the suit and the pin and watch the show.
Right?
That's awesome.
Hey, we've got comments here. Don't forget Neuralink. That's the only way we will compete in a robot's world. Okay, thank you for joining us. And Frank Leon, do you know him?
I think so. Shout out to my husband.
Yeah, where's mine? No, I'm just kidding.
All right,
He's
so
with the kids.
So getting back to home robots for just a moment here, because that was really what our theme was with this background. This is the article. It says, it's 2027.
Right.
You just introduced yourself to Neo, the humanoid robot who will be living with you for the foreseeable future.
Okay.
So somebody bought that $20,000, $30,000 humanoid robot to help with whatever chores, right?
Right.
Well, this robot, they say, is designed to help out with not just chores and other tasks, but it's not long before you find yourself grateful, not just for its assistance, but also for its company.
Yes.
Now, for me, this opens up a whole new can of worms.
Oh, absolutely.
Think what would happen to humanity who is way off track and has been for
Population.
thousands of years.
Right.
Still killing each other this late in the game. And if they had therapy, if they had somebody help them sort out their convoluted thinking processes,
Right.
these machines in the home are going to be there 24/7.
Yep.
When you get home, they're going to say, "Oh, you look like you've had a tough day. Tell me about it."
Everyone's going to want one.
The replacement of the husband and wife.
That's where my mind went.
A lot to unpack there, too.
I know, that's a lot.
Just think of a wife that never argues with you.
I want a husband that never says no to shopping.
Here's my credit card, honey.
I created more currency for you, dear.
Let's have the in-laws over this Sunday.
Oh my gosh. Let's take a trip.
So,
So crazy.
home robots. Okay, so your days of doing chores may be numbered.
I love those numbers being zero.
It better come assembled.
They're going to do a better job.
Yeah,
and they
don't
may
make me assemble it.
and they may even
Yeah, me neither.
they may do the job after hours in the middle of the night while you're sleeping.
No
It's
vacuuming.
out there without lights,
Right.
able to take care down
And
to a
continue
microscopic
going.
level and make everything sanitized and clean and perfect.
Why not?
She loves it.
That would be lovely.
So
To be able to wake up every morning and not have to step on a single crumb would just be like, oh my gosh,
or a Lego.
I'm so
Now,
over
what,
Legos.
now,
Barefoot.
what
I
would-
have too many
okay,
kids.
let's think about it. So, what would be the cons to that? You've got this machine operating in your house every day, throughout the day. Would it become an annoyance? Would it become, could there be,
Like if you wanted to do something yourself.
like an interruption?
My thinking there is that this kind of technology
Right.
is going to constantly be in tune with your
you,
thought
yeah.
processes. And the
Okay.
instant it begins to, there's a feedback loop there. It
Right.
begins to recognize, oops, I need to recede.
Back off.
Exactly. Again, it's going to be perfection at that point in time.
Wow.
But tell me when I'm having a hot flash and why I'm cranky.
It's gonna
body temperature's
It's gonna
reading.
bring you a cool cloth
I just want a
and
robot.
a good book.
I want to be like the Jetsons and have her like talk smack back to me.
Yep. So anyway, the way the article goes, the final statement here is maybe it'll even improve your mental health. Well, that goes without saying. Yeah,
I think it would.
Right.
totally. Yeah.
Right.
How many people have in their lives like toxic people or bad influences, to say the least, and they're learning from them and they could have someone correcting that
Yeah. Yeah.
and being a better person? I don't know.
Now, you know what? We don't realize, I think, that we've been introduced to robotics and this technology for many decades now. And
Yeah, it's not
they,
new.
No, they go on to list it. The swing arms in the automotive manufacturing, the robots
Right.
that pick up the heavy stuff
Yep.
and flip it around and put the seat in the car, that's been around since the 60s in the last century.
Right.
They were integrated into automotive assembly lines. They've also been part of our homes for decades. And what they list there is Roombas.
Yep.
That's about 20 years. Washing machines.
Yeah.
100 years.
Right.
You know, we used to do this, remember? With a washing
There's
board.
been a constant evolution. Yeah.
You know, sometimes I say still washing my clothes in the bathtub is not a bad thing. I like the feel different. It feels different. I don't know.
So everything we've mentioned
Yeah.
here so far as our exposure to the machines has been specialized.
Right.
It does a specific function. Your washing machine's not going to toast your bread, for example, right?
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
going to cool your milk, right? Well, these new robots that are coming out now, they have a one thing in common in that they are general purpose. Like the humanoids, for example, they can perform many tasks. So they say this is the holy grail of robotics because it would mean that you can replace all of these single-purpose bots with just one machine.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought of it.
All right.
The
One
con.
Yeah, tell me.
I could see potentially if you're working with a robot that's helping you and guiding you through the day or your activities and things like that. Individuals, people, we like to work in having our own thoughts, our own way of thinking,
Independence.
our own independence. And if you have a robot that's there correcting you or trying to guide you in a direction
That would
that
be
you're going to
annoying.
have resistance to it as well.
Okay.
You're going to have those that are going to resist that.
But then
I
it
have-
sees that you're being irritated and it backs up.
I have an answer for
Well.
you, and this may resonate with you.
Okay.
You know that one of the skills in management is if you're trying to motivate or make change, is to work it in such a way that it
That-
looks like
yeah.
it's
Oh,
the
yeah,
employee's
right.
decision.
Right, oh, of
It's
course.
they came up with the answer. Do you
Right,
think the
you
machine's
let
going to
them-
fall short in that regard?
No.
Oh,
It's going to make you think it was an original thought when it was like, well,
it
how
was
do you
its
feel
idea the
about
whole
that?
time.
It will lead you to the
To-
conclusion.
Oh my
Right.
gosh. We're never going to be independent anyway. That's
Okay, all right.
I'm in. Oh, let's see. John Dawson says, great
It's a
show.
ghastly-
I will say that AI may have and continue to gain knowledge, but will never be able to understand real life experiences. AI will be great when used as
Assistant.
an assistant
Assistant.
to experiences. I think everyone has a pro con, negative, positive feeling in some direction or another about AI.
Oh, we're all scared
Well-
to death.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm trying to throw the cons out there.
Can we go down to Mark Beach? What does he say?
The robot can walk the dog when it's 100 out. It's 120. Yes.
I see. The more I talk
Or
about
pick up the backyard, the
Yeah.
leftovers from the dog.
And something else the
drones.
robot can do is it can boop, boop, boop into the paws on that dog and find out if it's too hot. You can't
Oh,
do that,
yeah.
right?
you can check the temperature of the
Amazing.
ground
It can
before
save
it
the
even exists.
animals. We can send them out to get
She
all
got
the
really
lost dogs.
excited. I love this. She's like, all the cats and dogs, I can save them all. She's gonna have a shelter. It's gonna be AI ran.
Well, there we go.
There it
because
is.
now that's where I can redirect those energies now that we have the robots.
You know what I'd want to see? I want to see it used in like interrogations.
Oh my God. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
You're lying. Please stop lying. You're wasting our time.
Boy, there's something
Well,
else
we
that's
have that
obsolete.
psychological spin. It'll be able to draw things out of
Oh,
people
even better.
that when
Yeah.
you know.
Their own conclusion.
Well, now we're still talking about a very inefficient process of guttural sounds and speech and all of that, and then trying to read in between the lines.
But it'll just read your mind.
Totally, yes.
When you have
yeah.
that Neuralink in your mind, it's just going to already know
That scares
as
me.
you're thinking it.
Well, that's why we're doing these shows. It is
That
scary
part
as
kind
hell.
of
Right,
scares me. I
right.
don't want anyone in here. This is my safe zone. Leave it alone.
It's all scary.
Well, maybe
Wait a minute.
it helps you.
I think Cass has some
Oh,
input.
hey.
It's all
Yes.
scary. Fun fact, I've always had a fear of robots since the dawn of time.
Uh-oh.
There was
And you're in the technology
yeah,
industry?
listen,
Can't beat them. Join them.
I don't like AI. I don't like robots. I find them incredibly scary. If there's any way that any of this stuff can be hacked, I always think it's just going to go downhill. When I was a baby, I had the automatic rocking horse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hated
yeah.
that thing. The moment it turned on, I cried.
Oh.
And
Poor
from
baby
then
Cass.
on, I think it just scarred me.
Okay.
Well, maybe she is a traveler from the future and she
And she's gonna-
reincarnated into the present, and
Must
she's
be.
our
You just know what's
sage.
going to happen. In 3056,
Yeah.
will I still be alive?
Mayhaps. I can't tell you this information.
Potentially.
Classified.
All right, we got a picture we want to pop up here, Cass, if you
Okay.
can do
Also, Mark Beach wrote. I think AI wrote John's post.
that. Busted.
I knew it.
Go ahead.
All right. Bill Gates, and again, says humans won't be needed for most things in the AI age. So he's got some interesting reasons for that. He
Okay.
says, if you're concerned about job security in the AI area, I might have some bad news for you. In a recent interview, Gates said, humans won't be needed for most things. Eventually, thanks to AI, there will be some things that we will reserve for ourselves.
Yes.
We can probably guess what those are.
We'll leave that one there.
Yeah. But in terms of making things and moving things and growing food, over time, these will be basically solved problems.
I mean,
Right.
yeah. I would rather have the same consistent strawberries and not have to worry about E. coli from some guy peeing all over the crop.
Oh, jeez.
So where he says a lot of this disruption is going to occur is in healthcare. Now, I've got a story here.
Okay.
Please.
When I was a field engineer in my early days, right?
Right.
I was pretty good at repairing computers, but I had certain customers that would take one look at me in my early 20s and say,
You
get
know
him
what
out of
you're
here.
doing.
Yeah.
I
I'm not
know.
going to let him near my multi-million-dollar computer,
Yes.
right? Mainframe computer.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was hoping and praying for graying at the temples.
Graying it.
I grew a mustache and used to color it because it was too thin, right?
No.
But
can
anyway,
relate.
disruption in healthcare. When you have a medical condition or problem, and some young intern comes out who's probably far more knowledgeable than the old guy with the gray hair because he hasn't
Right.
been to any kind of training in decades, right?
Right.
You feel more comfortable with the gray-haired guy, do you not?
No.
No? Okay,
No.
well, then you're different.
Right. Most people fall, it's more naturally people fall back on that because they're used to that grandmother, grandfather relationship.
Sage, wisdom, experience. Yes, yeah.
exactly.
No, I like the younger ones because I'm like, you know the new technology. Put it in me.
So what he talks about here is that the healthcare field, mental health professions, and teaching are particularly ripe for disruption because saying that a great doctor or a great teacher will go from rare to commonplace.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Think back your grammar school and your high school.
All right.
I remember the teachers that had a profound impact on me, and they were
Sure.
they were a handful. Of all the teachers
Yes,
I had,
exactly.
maybe this many,
Like,
right?
yeah. Yes.
The rest were the employees that didn't want to
The
be
mediocre,
there. They were
right.
bored. They were burned out.
Yep.
They were tired of the low wages.
showed
They
up.
were,
They
yeah,
had to
They
show
yeah.
up and took it
Right.
out on me.
And you need to remember all the dates, and if you don't remember the dates, then you get an F on the test. You know,
Oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't about what do those dates mean.
Yeah.
Right.
What was the history
exactly.
that went with it?
Yeah.
Why
That's
is the
right.
French Revolution important? Is it the date, or is it the concept of why it occurred?
Exactly.
Right.
All right.
Exactly.
Agree.
So anyway, great teachers, great doctors. AI fits that bill perfectly because
Totally.
it's all-knowing, it's wise, it's the sum total of all of our knowledge. And as we reach singularity and AGI, it will continue to get even
Yeah.
smarter and
see,
build.
Sure will.
Now, I see, knowledge, wisdom. I recognize that with the act of actually having done something or tried it before so that you know what the impact is of whatever is being done. So
The experience behind it.
Exactly. So like when you talk about like somebody new and things like that, yes, they can be highly intelligent.
But they don't have the experience.
Right, to understand
that
the
could be
full
true.
impact of what happens from whatever act or whatever it is that's being
Right.
done. And the AI has the ability to sort out all those different
Yeah.
All of it.
factors.
Yep.
All of it.
From various countries. Medicine is about empirical data. It's collecting cause-effect relationships. And the more you
Right.
collect, the better composite you get of what may be going on.
Absolutely.
And so the bigger your, the amount of data
Data
that
that
you've
goes
collected
into
is,
it.
the more accurate your diagnosis eventually becomes.
Exactly. Oh, I can't wait to see more of this. This is going to be a fun podcast.
I know.
If you're not engaged, then
Right.
So here's Gates again. He says he.
Something on the board.
I like middle-aged doctors. That's a personal problem. Just kidding. Been a lot, but still keeping up. My optometrist just asked AI to help diagnose my eye condition that determined that I have neurological issue behind the left eye.
Yes.
See?
Yeah,
You
there
paid
go.
him for that when you could. I'm just kidding. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
We could have used ChatGPT.
I
Thank you for finishing that.
So here's Gates. He talks about some career paths that might be safe from the
Okay.
intrusion of AI and robotics.
know. Right.
He says, we won't watch computers play baseball.
No.
He's got a good point there.
You're
the
right.
robots
Like,
they're
they're
perfect.
going to have the perfect. Yeah.
not
Yeah.
want to watch
You're right.
that. Actually, maybe I would.
Every shot's going to be a three-pointer, nothing but net.
Yeah.
What's exciting about that?
Yeah, that
no
takes the
skill,
fun
no
right
fun.
out. Oh, that's a great point. Yes.
Yep. He says that his prediction comes as plenty of Americans are already worried about AI's impact. No kidding about on their jobs. He says that up to 86% of U.S. employees fear that many people will lose their jobs. I think it's on everybody's mind. It's
Yeah.
probably
You know what, though?
100%.
You know what though? It's one of those. I know it's out there, and I'm excited by it, but I have no fear internally of it. I don't
I fear the
feel
unknown.
the fear factor. Like, I know we as humans, as people, are, and we are intelligent enough to find that next thing that's going to take
Yeah.
us to what we need and taking care of us in our daily life. So
Maybe I'm not fearful. I'm just unsure of the unknown.
You have some trepidation. Let's put it
there you go,
There's
trepidation.
a good word. There's a euphemism
Word of the
for
day.
it.
What
Yeah.
does Mark say? Yeah, if a doctor gets an AI, paid for by Mark.
So,
Not going there.
So here's an image. There's so much
yeah.
talk about China, and it's become the adversary, and we're polarized. This again is the human stuff getting involved, counterproductive. Like the negotiating that's taking place now.
Oh, right.
I mean, they're sitting across the table,
Yeah.
and they don't trust each other, and they call each other names, and then after the meetings, they talk about the fact that they're just pretending, and it's not real, and all that. AI isn't going to be succumbing
the
to any
feelings
of
and
that.
emotions are out of it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
about what makes sense based on where they're trying to go.
So where I'm going with this is we have this impression of China. China impresses the hell out of me. They have
Right.
come from virtually a backward country within a
Right.
couple of decades into a powerhouse on this planet.
Yep,
Today,
true.
their production is the highest in the world. 20 years ago, they ranked number 11 or something like that,
Right.
despite their population. All right. So
Right.
I respect the Chinese.
Right,
Of
they-
course, they have a different government. Okay, so what?
Yeah,
It
right.
works for them. Leave them alone, right?
Right.
It ain't broke for them.
Yeah, it didn't work for the Soviets. The communist regime didn't work out for them, and it failed. But the Chinese, it's working for them. So anyway,
Okay.
they say AI is coming to classrooms in Beijing this fall. Primary and secondary schools will introduce at least 8 hours of AI classes per
Wow.
year, teaching and so on and so
Oh
forth.
yeah, how many hours do they go to school a day? Isn't it 12?
I heard of a class that they're doing now recently. I'm going to have to look it up, where they actually have an interruption where the first half of the class, or the school day, like the first 3 hours, is taught by AI. And then the last 2 hours of the day has an actual teacher in the room
Right.
with the students. So it's a class that's, doing both.
I can't wait till they measure the performance of
From
those
that
two
group,
groups. Yeah.
that's
Well,
students.
My
Yes.
children's school, they technically are at home online schooling through an Arizona-based system. And they're all about science, computer science, and math primarily is the focus of this school. And AI, they have to check all their work with AI. And AI then is incorporated into now state testing.
Wow.
So the state is checking the work with AI anyway. So I think it's already
The
there.
only concern there is AI makes mistakes still. I see that through
It
my
does.
use of it. And
we
my
don't have 10 finger, or we only have 10 fingers.
Well, no, even in its writing.
That's true.
When
it has
when
grammatic flaws.
Yes. Yes, even in its writing and what it puts into, what you're looking to achieve. It doesn't always.
And I love it when it hallucinates.
Oh, right.
It's creative,
Right.
Um,
Well, AI can draw on data from everywhere. How does it know the data that it's drawing on is
be
factually
accurate.
correct?
there's a picture that I just threw up here.
Okay.
Sam Altman, of course, is one of
A model that is good
he-
at creative writing.
he is one of the
there we
godfathers
go.
of the current AI movement. He's one of the founders of
Yes.
of OpenAI.
He was
Right.
Along with
on the
Elon.
congressional meetings recently, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Yeah, they
Was he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he said he doesn't get paid for it.
Okay. So what he's talking about here is they are beginning to find that AI is doing great work with metafictional literacy and short stories.
Okay.
I could only
Actually,
imagine.
that's amazing.
What I
God.
found is we have a couple of authors that have been on our podcasts, and both of them have admitted my book was partially written by AI.
Wow.
If you, of course, you have to fact check,
Right.
like you do anything.
Yeah.
But there will come a point in time when AI will create works that are far better than what humans are guiding.
It has the ability to have imaginary thoughts.
Totally agree.
Well,
That's
and,
crazy.
and it also understands humans, and it's evolving into understanding us better than we understand ourselves.
Right.
For example, when I did the prompt yesterday, I said, look, give me an image that will go viral. I want something that's clickbaity, something, and it understood exactly what I was asking for, and it
Okay.
described to me what elements it would put in there to make it that way.
Well, because it can draw on everything that is going viral at the moment
Exactly.
and identify the key components between those viral concepts to create one image. That's
Well,
amazing.
you nailed it. What we're able
Exactly.
to perceive is a tiny slice of reality, whereas AI sees the entire picture.
Right. It's looking at everything from
I
a
wanna
higher
be able
level.
to see the entire picture. I'll get that Neuro link.
In the metaphysical world, they call that tuning into the Akashic records.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll write that one down.
So again, getting back to a couple of definitions, we're starting to run out of time here, I think.
Okay.
AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. Most people believe that it is not here yet.
No, it is.
Personally, I believe it is.
Yeah.
I don't think that, I'm not sure that the governments are going to allow it to be put in use at this point.
But it's there.
But its definition is, AGI, it refers to a hypothetical stage, right? In AI development, where a machine or software system can exhibit human-level intelligence, capable of understanding, learning, and applying knowledge across a wide range of tasks, much like a human.
Okay.
That sounds to me like any of the AI programs we're
That's
already using.
absolutely
Right.
That
Right.
sounds like every AGI really just means algorithm. They were lying.
But nobody wants to admit at this point that we've reached AGI level. Now, there's
Sure.
another one that's called singularity.
Okay.
And that's also the holy grail of the eventual evolution of AI. It is a hypothetical future point where artificial intelligence surpasses human intelligence, leading to rapid, potentially uncontrollable technology advancements and societal transformations.
Well, aren't they claiming that's already available too?
Well, yes, I believe it is, but the term uncontrollable, of course, is that FUD.
Speculative
That always gets inserted.
and the creating fear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fear factoring.
Fear,
Well,
doubt,
fear
uncertainty.
modeling.
You know, what's mind blowing to me is that we actually may not be able to conceptually come up with what that next point will be because our human minds are actually
Can't go-
restricted
yeah.
from that next level of learning.
They are going to be smarter than the average human, which they should be because they're artificial intelligence. That means they're intelligent. If you can remove emotions, then your entire decision making process is completely different than a human. So you're able to make better decisions based on the big picture because you can see the whole picture rather than just case by case, human by human, what's best for that individual human. No, what's best for all of you.
Yeah.
That's I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
Well, we're having fun with this podcast.
It is.
And we'll do this again next week and the week after. And we love it when you guys chime in. I think that once we gain some momentum with people realizing when we're live again,
Yes.
we will have a steady stream, audience, predictable
And
audience.
Every
guests.
Wednesday.
We'll have to do some guests and things like that
Yeah.
too. Lots to explore.
And we want to make sure that you understand we don't have all the answers. We are simply exploring the
This
options.
is on opinions and news and that.
And our interpretation
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
So again, thank you for joining us. Join us next week at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time for another session of the Gruber Morning Show AI Podcast. I'm Pete Gruber.
I'm Erica.
And Janie.